a really nice special. The designer of this kite that built a kite in the factory of that kite, and so it became this little baby here. Well, we're gonna run you through all the little differences, and it's gonna be a really long story, so grab a cup of coffee and sit back and relax and enjoy the show. Wat een leuk verhaal, hè? Yeah. So today we got the new North Orbit, and we got the Duotone Rebel, and of course the Cabrinha Switchblade. Well, first we're going to talk about a little bit about all the differences in construction. If you come a little bit closer. First thing we see over here on the struts are the tapered bits, and of course the one pump system. If you look really close to the one pump system, yes, you all see this, kids? Then we can go to the Duotone Rebel, and what do we see? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, it's almost the same stuff. Oh yes. When we look at the bridle material, well, of course they got different colors, but in the end it's the same ropey stuff they use. Oh yeah. Now of course there's also some little things coming from the Cabrinha side. If you look to these little thingies on the wingtips or on the back end of the struts, when we look at Duotone, oh, there's nothing there. But when we go to North, what do we see? Ah, there's some reinforcements there. Now if you go to the valve, now this is going to be a question for you guys at home. Stick in your mind, which valve is this? Is this Duotone or is this Cabrinha? It's Cabrinha. So here they use the Cabrinha valve.
So it's a combination. We have to do something about the light.
Do something about the light, yes, it's getting better. Now it's getting all really shiny and stuff.
Was not a good idea.
Now we had a look on the inside of the construction, now we can look on the outside of the construction. So over here you see the reinforcements on the top part of the leading edge.
That's Duotone.
Duotone. Then we go back to North. Oh, what a coincidence! That almost looks the same. Then we go to the Cabrinha. Oh, whole different ball game. Now when you look to the material, we can see here very narrow squares. So I don't think it's Tejin, don't know for sure. But then when we look over here, we see the big squarey things. And we know it comes from Tejin because, well, North even puts it on their kite. And then we go to here. And of course, there are some more lines in it, but we'll talk you over this when we go to the MESS trade show, and we'll show you everything about the marketing mumbo jumbo about more lines in your canopy. So, when we look in the back end of the kite, we can see that Cabrinha goes with everything lighter and lighter and less stuff on the trailing edge. We can see that the same we showed you in the video before with the Duotone. But then when we go to North, well, this is pretty old school. So a lot of Decron. So yeah, a really old school way of building your kite. So we've seen, if you compare it to all the other 2020 models where it's lighter and lighter and less stuff in the trailing edge, we can see that North doesn't really believe in this yet. So,
but the Duotone is also a lot of Decron, is it?
Not here.
Not,
Less. See, this is Duotone. Those are their construction methods. They use relatively light. It's not really Decron even. It's another kind of material. It's really thin, really light.
Oh, yeah.
It gives a lot less flappy, but it's a lot lighter than the material you see over here on the North Kite.
Oh, yeah.
And with Cabrinha, they just left it all. They only put Decron on the first part, and then it goes into a really thin material as well.
Also
So that's for the construction. Let's see about the shape.
Hey Andre, there's a story about Cabrinha and going to North Designer and stuff like that. Is there a copyright on kite design?
Probably the Switchblade has been with Cabrinha for over 11 years now, so they probably patented its design. And of course, the Switchblade is their best-selling kite for years. And if you look back in one of their older videos, you can see that, well, the last couple of years, nothing really shaped on the Switchblade anyway. So it's a really proven, stable platform. The only differences they make is in some little bits of the construction, but in the end, yeah, it's a really good kite. It's all the way worked out, so it's all the way developed. Well, looking at the shape of the kite, there's a big difference. Of course, we suspected that maybe Nord built a new Switchblade, but they didn't. So when we look at the shape of the wingtips, we can see the Switchblade wingtips are a lot deeper, and also the shape is a little bit different. What we can see is when you look at the Switchblade, there's a little reminiscence of the old swept wingtip design that used to be patented on the bow kites. When we go to the north, we can also see that really lightly this swept is back in the trailing edge as well. When we look at all the different differences, you can see a whole different setup of struts and bridles, and the same for the Rebel. The Rebel is a really narrow, pointy wingtip. When we look at the Switchblade, really wide wingtip. When we look at the North, kind of wide wingtip as well. And when we look at the Rebel, a little bit narrow wingtip. So maybe you know more about the difference in construction. Just leave it down here in the comments, and I think we're gonna pump some kites and yeah, see how they are behaving out on the water. How much is it, Sven the man? Oh, so there's another little funny detail. If we look at the bags, they made them the same, but then the other way around. So it's the same, but just a little bit different. If we look over here at the bar pocket, it's kind of the same, but just a little bit different.
Hey Andre, can you put your glasses into your bag?
It's always a problem. Where do you leave your glasses? Disappointment. Ah, yeah. So
when you're a glass lover.
Yeah. So you can see, Cabrinha thinks of your style on and off the water. So next to me is Sven the man, because we're gonna test 2 kites and we need an extra really hardcore kiteboarder. So Sven, what brand do you normally like?
Normally I go on the water with Duotone.
You wouldn't say. So taking a closer look to the bar, and then especially towards the chicken loop, they have a really nice system with Nord. You can open it, bloop, and then you just click it back. It's as easy as that. So release, and if well, every kite releases at least. Sven the man, how much time did you release last season?
2 times, I think.
So 2 times a season you use this system, so it's really important.
Oh, I have a ropey.
Oh, you have a ropey?
Yeah, then I use it every time.
Oh, use it every time. Oh, well, then ropey people, if you really like to go, if you have your little rope system on your harness, then you're going to use this a lot. And then it's really nice that you can just undo it and fold it back. So that's pretty cool, because on the other hand, you probably have your hydrofoil or your waveboard. Now, if we look at our little donkey dick system, we can see we have an old Cabrinha bar over here, because I don't think they made a new bar for 220 or something. And when we look over here at the Duotone bar, we can see the same system. So it looks like
It's the same with the knop.
yeah, with a little knob they have over here. Nord and Cabrinha. So, but then you see this shape with a lot of different brands as well. But then in the end, you have a nice big piece of plastic with also your safety line running through the plastic tube.
I don't like plastic.
I don't like plastic either, but
Never like plastic.
you're more like a natural guy, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Steph doesn't like plastic. I don't really like plastic, but just feels a little bit different. And so over here with Cabrinha, they made it the same. Also, their system is within the plastic tubing, because some brands think it's really nice to put your safety line outside of your plastic tubing, so then your safety line always breaks. So when we look at the bar ends, we can see some stuff being alike over there as well. Totally different than this system.
I tried it, but it's a hard thing.
This is a hard thing? That's a really hard thing. How should you open this stuff? Their secret system?
Weet jullie hoe die open gaat?
Oh. So if you know how to open this part of the bar, please leave a comment, and maybe we can show it to you next time.
We've got it.
The man.
Yeah.
So
It seems you need to be strong for this kind of stuff.
Yep.
So getting back to reality, what Stefan also said is every centimeter counts.
but he likes plastic.
He likes plastic.
I like
Every centimeter counts.